You know that feeling when something just shifts? You can't explain it. There's no big blow up, no obvious fight, just a vibe. That's how it started with Lena. We've been married 7 years. No kids yet, but we talked about it constantly. Maybe next year, she'd say, brushing it off like we had all the time in the world. I never pushed. I thought we were solid. The first crack showed up in April. She signed up for this advanced statistics course, part of some professional development thing at her job. Cool, right? She's ambitious, and I love that about her. But what raised my eyebrows was how into it she got. Like obsessed. Constant late nights, extra tutoring sessions, even Saturdays. And the guy she picked to tutor her? Some local hotshot PhD named Mark. Used to teach at a university, now gives private lessons. She found him on Reddit of all places. Yeah, seriously. At first, I didn't care. I figured it was just her being her. She gets intense with stuff. But then she stopped talking about him altogether. And when I did ask how the lessons were going, she'd brush me off with, "Ugh, it's all matrix algebra. You wouldn't get it." That's when I started noticing the little things. Her phone, always face down. Her laptop, password protected suddenly. Her tone, sharper, colder. She'd laugh at messages that she'd immediately close when I walked by. When I asked who it was, she said it was a group chat with her classmates. Still, I tried to shake it off. I told myself I was being paranoid. Until last Tuesday. She left her iPad on the couch, and it lit up. Message preview. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. M. I stared at it. My heart was in my throat. I didn't move. The message sat there, mocking me. I opened it. What I read made my skin crawl. So yeah, I opened the message. I know, invasion of privacy and all that. But screw that. Something in my gut told me I wasn't crazy, and I was right. There were dozens of messages. Lena and M, Mark, obviously, talking like teenagers in heat. Dumb emojis, cringy pet names like Brain Daddy. I almost threw the iPad through the window when I read that, and worse, photos. Selfies of her in the car, in the bathroom, one with her biting her lip in that flirty way she used to do for me. The timestamps, all during her study sessions. But then came the punch to the stomach. It was a photo of her, in our bedroom. My side of the bed, clearly visible. She was lying on her stomach, in one of my t-shirts, smirking at the camera like she just won a damn prize. And the caption under it, "Still smells like him. Naughty, huh?" I swear I stopped breathing. It was like someone pressed pause on my brain. I just sat there, holding that iPad like it was on fire. Then the paranoia hit. How many times had this guy been in our house? On my bed? Sitting on my damn couch? Drinking from our mugs like a king? I snapped. I took screenshots of everything. Texts, photos, timestamps, even Mark's number. I airdropped them to my phone, logged out of her account, and put the iPad right back where she left it. She'd never know. That night, I didn't say a word. We ate dinner like normal. She talked about how draining her study session was, and how Mark was kind of annoying sometimes. I smiled, nodded, asked her if she wanted wine. Inside, I was shaking. I barely slept. My mind was running nonstop. Planning, thinking, obsessing. By morning, I knew exactly what I was going to do. The next day, I called in sick. Lena left at 9:15 sharp, like she always did on tutoring days. She wore jeans, a tight black top I hadn't seen in months, and lipstick. Lipstick, for a math lesson? Please. I waited 5 minutes, grabbed my keys, and followed her. She drove across town to a strip of shops and offices. Mark's tutoring center was upstairs above a vegan cafe. Real low-key. She parked, fixed her hair in the rear view, then practically skipped up the stairs. I parked around the corner and waited. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I was about to leave, thinking maybe I overreacted again. Maybe she was there for math. Until the blinds shifted. Just a crack, enough for me to see her silhouette. And another. A man. They were close. Way too close. Then the lights flicked off. I felt like I was going to be sick. I sat there in the car, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. Every part of me wanted to storm in there, throw the door open, and catch them in the act. But I didn't. Instead, I pulled out my phone. Took a photo of her car in the parking lot. Then one of the window. Timestamped both. That was enough. I wasn't just some crazy, jealous husband anymore. I was a man with receipts. She was in there for over an hour. When she finally came out, she looked different. Hair messy. Lipstick gone. Big smile on her face. She didn't even look around. just walked to her car like nothing happened. She didn't know I was watching. She drove straight home. I gave it another 10 minutes, then followed. When I walked in, she was in the kitchen, humming. She looked at me and said, "Hey babe, you're home early." I smiled. Yeah, figured I'd take a day off. She kissed my cheek. I had to stop myself from recoiling. Then she said the line that still echoes in my head. God, my brain is fried. Mark's killing me with this calculus crap. After that day, things moved fast. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted everything airtight. That night, while she showered, I went through her purse. I know how that sounds, but I was way past worrying about morals. She lied to my face. Daily. I was done playing the good guy. Inside, a receipt from that same building where Mark's office is. Timestamp matched. Payment received. Cash. No description, just initials. M.T. I took a photo. Next move? Lock down my accounts. I opened a new bank account that week. Transferred most of my savings. Froze the joint credit card. Changed all my online passwords. She'd get suspicious eventually, but by then, I'd already be gone. Then I called a lawyer. Explained everything. He didn't even blink. Said cases like this were more common than people think, and that infidelity, especially with proof, could shift everything in a divorce. Alimony, asset division, all of it. He asked if I had proof. I told him, "You want photos, messages, or video?" He laughed, told me to send everything I had. I did. He called me back the next day and said, "You're golden. Now just don't tip her off." Easier said than done. Lena started getting clingy, like out of nowhere. I'd catch her staring at me during dinner, asking if I was okay, rubbing my back when I walked past. Guilty conscience, probably. Or maybe Mark was pulling back. Who knows? But I wasn't playing her game. Every smile I gave her was fake. Every kiss on the cheek, calculated. I even faked a romantic weekend idea just to throw her off. "Let's get away soon. Just you and me," I said one night. She smiled and said, "I'd love that." But what I was really planning? A personal getaway. Permanent. She slipped up on a Thursday. It was almost nothing, just a voicemail. I was in the kitchen when her phone rang in the living room. She was upstairs, drying her hair. The screen lit up. Mark M.T. I didn't touch it. Let it ring out. Then it buzzed again, voicemail. Now here's the kicker. She still had visual voicemail set up. And it was linked to our home assistant app, the kind that syncs to everything, including tablets. Guess who had his old tablet still logged in? I opened it. Mark's voice played out, casual, low, confident. "Hey, just letting you know I booked the hotel for next Friday. Same place as last time. Let's not do the tutoring excuse again, it's getting old. I'll see you there, babe." Same place as last time. Hotel. My ears rang. There it was. Not just sex, but premeditated, ongoing, organized cheating. She wasn't just slipping up. She was building a double life. I screen recorded the voicemail, saved it to the cloud, and backed it up twice. I texted my lawyer. Got a voicemail from him. Hotel confirmation. She's toast. His reply came fast. Perfect. Don't confront yet. Let them meet. Let it happen. Then act. The next week was the hardest of my life. She acted like nothing was wrong. Even tried to seduce me one night, which made my skin crawl. I turned her down with a fake headache. She didn't push it. Friday came. She wore a sundress, makeup, light perfume, all the signs. Said she was going to a conference. Left around 3 p.m. I waited 10 minutes. Grabbed my car keys. And followed. It wasn't tutoring. It wasn't a conference. It was a cheap hotel by the freeway. I parked where she couldn't see me. Watched her go inside. 30 minutes later, I saw Mark arrive. Same guy from the pictures. Tall, cocky mid-30s. They hugged in the parking lot like they hadn't seen each other in months. I took photos. Video. Timestamped everything. I didn't confront them. I didn't blow up. I just smiled. Lena loves Christmas. Like, borderline obsessed level. Tree goes up the day after Halloween. She has themed pajamas for every day of December. Cookies, carols, scented candles. The whole winter wonderland fantasy. So I picked Christmas Eve. Why? Because I wanted her to remember this for the rest of her life. I wanted the smell of pine and cinnamon to make her sick every December. I spent the next 2 weeks preparing. I printed everything. The photos, the screenshots, the hotel receipt she left in her purse last time, rookie move, and a full transcript of the voicemail. I even included Mark's LinkedIn profile, just for fun, all in a sleek black binder. Title on the cover? Tutoring log. Sessions with Mark M.T. Then I wrapped it. Red paper. Gold bow. Now here's where it gets spicy. I invited her parents over. I told them we were hosting a small Christmas Eve dinner. Just them, Lena and me. I played it cool. Decorated the house. Played cheerful husband. She had no clue. She even wore that green velvet dress I bought her last year. The one she said made her feel like royalty. Joke writes itself, huh? We ate. We laughed. I poured wine. She kissed my cheek. Whispered how she was so glad we were reconnecting. And then I said, I got you something. I handed her the box. She smiled. Said, you didn't have to. She opened it. And everything changed. She stared at the cover, confused. Opened the binder. Saw the first photo, her and Mark in bed. Then the next, hotel entrance. Then the texts. Then the voicemail transcript. The smile dropped. Her hands started shaking. Her dad leaned over. What's this? Lena whispered. It's nothing. This isn't. But I stood up. Merry Christmas, Lena. You've been getting private lessons from your math tutor, huh? How long has it been? A few months? Or is this the second semester already? You ever see someone try to lie while their whole world is collapsing? That was Lena. She sat there, flipping through the binder, mouth open, face pale. Her parents were frozen. Her mom gasped when she hit the photo of Mark's hand on Lena's thigh. Her dad just stared at me, then at her, like he was trying to reboot reality. And Lena? She went for the first trick in the cheater's playbook, denial. This isn't what it looks like, she stammered, clutching the binder like it might explode. I tilted my head. Really? So you weren't at a hotel last Friday with Mark? She didn't answer. Her mom whispered, Lena, please tell me this is some kind of joke. And then, out of nowhere, she snapped. It was just tutoring. Advanced techniques. You don't understand. Her dad actually said, Jesus Christ, Lena. I couldn't stop myself. I laughed. Out loud. Like a full-blown, can't hold it back laugh. Advanced techniques? I said. She jumped up, face red. You had no right to spy on me. I stepped closer. No, you had no right to bring some guy into our home, lie to me, screw him, and call it calculus. And then she made her second big move. Crying. Tears, wailing, hands shaking, like someone just told her her puppy died. Total meltdown. I didn't mean for it to happen. I was confused. He made me feel wanted again. There it was. That classic line. He made me feel wanted. Her mom stood up. You had a husband who wanted you, who took care of you. You threw it away for some tutor? I turned to her dad. You want to see the rest of it? There's pictures I didn't print. He shook his head slowly. No, I've seen enough. And just when I thought she couldn't top herself, she did. She said, we never even had sex. She really said it. We never even had sex. I looked her dead in the eye. You sure about that? She sniffled. I swear. We kissed. We messed around. But we didn't. I pulled out my phone. Opened the recording. Hit play. Mark's voice filled the room. Hey, just letting you know I booked the hotel for next Friday. Same place as last time. Let's not do the tutoring excuse again. It's getting old. I'll see you there, babe. The room went silent. You could hear the air deflate from her parents' lungs. Lena stood there like she just got hit by a truck. Same place as last time, I repeated, looking straight at her. So which session were you not screwing him? First one or third? She didn't answer. She couldn't. Her mom sat down and just whispered, oh my God. Her dad rubbed his temples like this was all a terrible dream. Lena finally said, I didn't think you'd find out. I tilted my head. Oh, that's your defense. That's when I decided to drop the last hammer. Also, just so you know, I filed for divorce yesterday. Merry Christmas. She gasped. Her dad stood up. You're divorcing her? I'm not going to be the idiot husband with a cheating wife and a PhD student raiding my fridge while I'm at work, I said. Lena ran to me, grabbed my shirt. Please don't do this. We can fix it. I made a mistake. You made multiple mistakes, I said. In my bed. In a hotel. On a Thursday. She fell to her knees. I'll block him, she cried. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me. Please. I stepped back. Looked at her mom, who couldn't even meet my eyes. Then her dad, who looked like he was already planning to disown her. I don't want a wife I have to monitor, I said. This wasn't a one-night lapse. It was a goddamn curriculum. I left her on the floor, crying in front of her parents. I didn't pack a bag. I didn't slam the door. I just walked out, got in my car, drove to my buddy Nate's place, and crashed on his couch with a bottle of bourbon and absolute silence. The next morning, it started. First was the text, a number I didn't recognize. Short and sweet. Yo man, this isn't how it was supposed to go. Can we talk? Mark. I didn't respond. 10 minutes later, another one. She said you're blowing this way out of proportion. Be a man. Let's handle this civilly. I blocked him. Then Lena started. Missed calls, voicemails, texts, all over the place emotionally, begging, guilt-tripping, even flirting. I miss you. Please come home. Followed by, this doesn't have to be ugly. We can work it out. Then, you were never there for me emotionally, and you pushed me to him. Classic. She went from please forgive me to this is your fault in under 24 hours. I ignored it all. Monday rolled around. I went to work like normal. Kept my head down. Didn't tell anyone yet, except for my manager. Just said I was going through some personal stuff and needed a lighter load. She was cool about it. Then, around noon, my coworker buzzed me. Hey, some woman's here asking for you. Lena. She showed up at my job. Walked into the lobby in full makeup, fake tears, and a sad little gift bag in her hand. I didn't go down. I told security not to let her in. They escorted her out while she begged them to just let me talk to him for 5 minutes. She called me 10 times that night. Left a voicemail crying about how it was just loneliness and how Mark meant nothing. Said I was blowing up our marriage over a stupid mistake. But that's the thing. It wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. Repeated. Planned. Executed. Covered up. So here's where it gets delicious. Apparently, Lena forgot one small thing. Her company has a very strict policy about interoffice relationships, especially ones involving consultants or tutors they contract from outside. Guess who got an email? Not me, her boss. Turns out Mark wasn't just a random PhD guy tutoring on the side. He was on the company's mentorship payroll for their executive upskill initiative. Fancy term for we hire brainy dudes to help our staff with data analysis. Lena was listed as his mentee. Once HR got wind of the binder, because her own mom shared it with her cousin, who worked in the same company, it was over. Mark was terminated immediately. Security escorted him out that Friday. I didn't even have to lift a finger. The corporate gods did it for me. But wait, it gets better. Lena wasn't fired. No, they did something worse. They demoted her, stripped her of her project lead status, cut her bonus, moved her desk from the nice glass office to a shared cubicle with a guy who apparently eats hard-boiled eggs every morning and talks about his fantasy football team nonstop. She messaged me that night. You ruined my life. I hope you're happy. I didn't reply, but I was. Very. And then, out of nowhere, another surprise. Nate, the buddy whose couch I was crashing on, had a friend over. She brought her laptop to do some work at the kitchen table. Turns out she works in HR. Guess which company? Mark's new contract firm. She saw him on Zoom a few weeks earlier. Smug little tryhard, she called him. I mentioned the situation. Gave her just enough info to put the pieces together. She nodded slowly, then said, yeah, he's done. HR hates that kind of exposure. And just like that, Mark was blacklisted. But here's the cherry. While packing up more of my things at home, I found a letter. A handwritten note Lena never gave me. It was buried in one of her old notebooks. Probably something she started writing before everything blew up. The first line, I don't know why I'm doing this. He's not even that attractive. I laughed out loud. Just when I thought she'd finally fade away, she pulled the oldest trick in the Dusty Cheater's handbook. The I might be pregnant card. It came via text. One line. No emojis. No punctuation. I think I'm pregnant. I stared at it. Didn't reply for 20 minutes. When I did, it was simple. Congrats. Let me know what Mark says. 3 minutes later, she called. I didn't pick up. Voicemail came through immediately, crying again. She said she was so scared that she didn't even know if it was mine or his, and that this could be a sign we needed to talk. A sign? What the hell kind of cosmic message is a potential affair baby? I called my lawyer. He said, don't respond anymore. If she's pregnant, she can go through the legal process. We'll handle it. But here's where things flipped. 2 days later, I got a message from her best friend, Erica, the one Lena used to gossip with late into the night on speakerphone, thinking I wasn't listening. Erica sent me this. FYI, she's not pregnant. She's faking it to get you to talk to her. I texted back, how do you know? She sent a screenshot. It was Lena messaging her. I told him I might be pregnant. Think that'll shake him enough to come home? Busted. I screenshotted that, sent it to my lawyer, and then, for fun, forwarded it to Lena. No caption, just the image. She didn't reply for 2 days. When she finally did, it was a 4-paragraph meltdown, half apology, half rage. Accused me of weaponizing her desperation, of humiliating her, and of destroying her trust. I almost choked on my coffee reading that one. Her trust? I didn't answer. Not a word. Silence was my new language. And it was working. She stopped texting. Mark? Radio silence too. Probably off trying to reassemble the crumbs of his tutoring career. But then something unexpected happened. I got an invitation to Lena's sister's wedding, and it was addressed to me only. When I opened the wedding invite, I actually laughed. It was from Jenna, Lena's younger sister. We were always cool, closer in vibe than Lena and I ever really were, if I'm being honest. But what caught me off guard wasn't the invite. It was the envelope. Mr., my full name, solo guest. No, and Lena. That was intentional. Now, by this point, Lena and I had been fully separated for just over a month. The divorce paperwork was filed. My lawyer was handling everything. I was back in my own apartment, sleeping better, eating better, breathing better. Lena had stopped reaching out entirely. No more voicemails. No more fake emergencies. No new numbers. Nothing. Ghost town. So why did her sister invite just me? I texted Jenna. Hey, just got the invite. Sure this wasn't meant for someone else? She replied almost instantly. Nope. You're invited. Lena isn't. Come if you want. Would love to see you. I stared at the screen for a while. Part of me thought it was a trap. Or maybe just some twisted family drama I didn't want to be part of. But the petty part of me, the side of me that still felt that scorched pit of betrayal in my stomach, that side said go, and don't go alone. So I asked someone. Her name was Mia, someone I'd met a few weeks prior through mutual friends. She was smart, sarcastic, and completely unconnected to all the chaos I'd been through. I told her the situation. She laughed and said, so basically I'm being recruited for psychological warfare? I'm in. We showed up to the wedding that Saturday. Jenna looked gorgeous, glowing, nervous, the whole bridal cliché. When she saw me, she actually hugged me and whispered, thank you for coming. You were always the better half. Damn. Mia and I took our seats, mid-row, not too flashy, but not invisible either. The ceremony was fine. No drama. Just awkward stares from Lena's side of the family when they realized I was there and she wasn't. But the real show? The reception. About 40 minutes into dinner, I saw her, Lena. She wasn't supposed to be there. She wasn't on the guest list. But there she was, in a tight dress, hair done up, walking in like she belonged. I saw Jenna's face change immediately. She looked over at her new husband and then at her maid of honor, their cousin, and started whispering something fast. Lena walked in, scanned the room, and locked eyes with me. And Mia. That moment was cinematic. Her mouth actually fell open. Like in a movie. She didn't expect me to be with someone. Hell, she probably thought I was still on a couch somewhere, licking my wounds. She definitely didn't expect Mia, who looked like she walked off a magazine cover that night. She started walking over. Mia looked at me. Incoming. Lena stopped right at our table. Smiled. So fake I could see the Botox forming. Wow. You look different. I didn't get up. Yeah. Happiness will do that to you. She looked Mia up and down. And who's this? Mia smiled sweetly. I'm the girl who didn't cheat on him. You could hear someone across the room choke on their drink. Lena's smile twitched. Nice. Real classy. I leaned back in my chair. You weren't invited, were you? She ignored the question. I just wanted to talk. Can we step outside? No, I said simply. She blinked. Just 5 minutes. No. Mia sipped her wine. I think he's been pretty clear. Jenna showed up a second later, flanked by 2 groomsmen. Lena, you weren't invited. Please leave. I just wanted to see you on your big day. No, you wanted to hijack it, Jenna snapped. You've already ruined enough. This day isn't about you. Leave. For a moment, Lena looked like she might explode. Her face turned red. Her eyes darted back and forth like she was scanning for someone to back her up, but no one moved. Her own parents looked away. She turned to me one last time. You didn't have to do this. I shrugged. You did this. I just showed up. And with that, she walked out, escorted by groomsmen, no less. Mia raised her glass. Mazel tov. Jenna came back over later and said, "Sorry about that. I warned security, but she snuck in through the back lot. We should have known." I told her it was all good. Honestly, it was the best entertainment I'd had in months. The rest of the night was incredible. No drama, no tension, just relief. Mia and I danced, laughed, took a bunch of pictures. I looked and felt like someone who'd finally crawled out of a tunnel and saw daylight. But the best part? When we left the wedding and got to my car, Mia looked at me and said, "Next time she calls, let me answer. I've got a few things I'd like to say." About a week after the wedding, just when I thought Lena had finally crawled back under whatever rock she'd slithered out from, I got a call from my lawyer. "Got something weird for you," he said. I braced myself. "She's trying to walk back the divorce." I blinked. "What?" "She filed a formal reconciliation proposal. Technically legal. She's asking to pause the proceedings and enter a mediation window. Says she believes the marriage is salvageable." I let out a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. "You're joking." He wasn't. "She also included a stipulation," he added. "A list of conditions you'd have to agree to before she'll consider signing the divorce papers cleanly." That got my attention. "You mean she's trying to ransom her cooperation?" "In so many words, yeah." "Send it." When the PDF hit my inbox, I damn near spit out my coffee reading it. The document, all properly formatted and lawyered up, was 4 pages long and read like a delusional Christmas wish list from someone who still thought she had leverage. Let me give you the highlights. A full 6-month reconciliation period where both parties commit to rebuilding the marriage, with therapy, date nights, and a ban on seeing other people. LOL. Access to our former joint bank account must be reinstated for trust-building purposes. She actually used the phrase trust-building like she hadn't detonated that bridge herself. Mark must not be involved in the divorce process and shall not be mentioned again. So she wanted to erase the affair from the record. Not happening. All evidence gathered via unauthorized surveillance shall be destroyed or omitted. Translation: she wanted me to nuke the very receipts that kept her from bleeding me dry in court. A public social media post stating that the couple is working things out privately and requests respect. Basically, she wanted me to help save face. And the grand finale? In the event reconciliation is unsuccessful, the divorce shall proceed without any accusations of infidelity, and all assets shall be split 50-50ths with no fault assigned. That's when I laughed. Hard. I called my lawyer. "Tell her to go to hell. But use the nice legal words." He chuckled. "Already on it." 2 days later, her lawyer called back. "She's upset," he said, "but she's willing to negotiate. She says she just wants to avoid a messy public situation." Too late for that. She also asked if there's any chance of personal dialogue. She claims she's in therapy and has gained clarity. I told my lawyer to send her a final offer. No reconciliation. No backtracking. No therapy sessions. I want a clean divorce, and she can keep her pride if she signs now. Otherwise, the court gets everything. That same night, Lena called me from a new number. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. Voice trembling, sniffly, doing her classic performance. "I know you hate me. I don't blame you. But I'm trying. I'm really trying. Please don't destroy me in court. Please don't make me start over with nothing. We both made mistakes. We don't have to end like this." And then she said it. "You don't need to punish me. Haven't I already lost enough?" "No, Lena, you haven't lost enough. Because you didn't just cheat. You lied. You made me think I was crazy. You let me sleep next to you while someone else's voice echoed in your texts. You gaslit. You smiled. You laughed. And now? You wanted to negotiate the terms of your own fallout?" I blocked the number. The next day, her lawyer folded. She'd signed the divorce papers with the infidelity clause intact. No asset push, no spousal support. And just like that, she was out of my life. Legally, finally, officially. You'd think after all that, after the wedding embarrassment, the failed reconciliation stunt, the divorce papers signed and sealed, Lena would just vanish. Nope. She went nuclear. 3 days after the ink dried, I started getting messages from mutuals. Screenshots. DMs. "Dude, have you seen this?" It was a Facebook post. A long one. From Lena. It started with, "I never thought I'd have to air my personal life on here, but after months of being demonized and slandered behind my back, I need to speak my truth." Yeah, here we go. She painted herself as a woman abandoned during a time of emotional need. who had made a mistake, like anyone might, but was now being dragged through the mud by someone who couldn't even try to forgive. She didn't mention me by name. She wasn't that stupid. But she dropped just enough breadcrumbs that anyone who knew us even vaguely could put it together. She made sure to include that I was emotionally unavailable for months, that I had secret online behavior, LOL what? And cut off financial access as a control tactic, that she never felt seen or heard. And my personal favorite, in the end, he gave up on our marriage when I was still willing to fight. Then she ended it with a quote. A quote, "You can't heal where you were hurt." I had to walk away. The comments section? An absolute war zone. Her friends rushed in with, "You're so brave, Queen. He didn't deserve you. You're glowing now." But not everyone bought it. A few mutuals dropped polite but lethal comments like, "Sometimes people walk away because they've been lied to. Both sides of the story matter." And this gem, "Funny, that's not what you said when you showed up at his job crying." Then came the DMs. One from a guy we both knew in college. "She told people you cheated on her now." I didn't reply. I just screen capped it and forwarded it to my lawyer, who basically said, "Defamation's real if she crosses a line. Let me know." But the best part? Someone created a burner Instagram account the next day. No profile pic, no bio, just one post. A single collage, all the receipts from the affair, the binder pages, the hotel invoice, even the voicemail Mark left her. All redacted just enough to avoid violating privacy terms, but obvious to anyone who'd been following the gossip. Caption: "Since we're airing out truths." The account blew up. People shared it. People sided with me. DMs poured in. Randoms saying, "Dude, I knew something was off about her." Even old acquaintances from college messaged me like, "Glad you got out." Lena didn't post again after that. She locked her socials. Comments off. Profile pic changed to some vague inspirational quote about healing or whatever. But it was too late. Her attempt to spin the narrative had backfired spectacularly. And me? I didn't have to say a word. My silence, my absolute refusal to play the social media game, made me look like the grown-up. And when you're dealing with a compulsive liar trying to manage optics, that drives them insane. It's been 4 months since the divorce finalized. Lena's gone. Not physically. She still lives in the same city. But emotionally, she's out of my head. The noise died down. The gossip faded. People moved on. So did I. The Instagram account that torched her little PR campaign disappeared a few weeks after the post. One and done. Surgical. To this day, I don't know who made it. I never asked. I don't need to know. It was enough. Mark vanished too. From everything. No socials. No updates. Word is he left town, maybe moved states. I don't care. He could be giving advanced lessons in Alaska for all I care. As for Lena, mutual friends say she's finding herself. Therapy, yoga, journaling. The usual post-chaos recovery arc. Apparently, she's trying to build some kind of personal brand around resilience. Yeah, resilience. The woman who folded like a wet napkin the second the truth came out is now posting quotes about bouncing back. Whatever. Let her. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm not angry. I'm done. I deleted every photo, cleared her number, got new locks, new furniture, and finally stopped dreaming about catching her in lies. And for the first time in years, my life feels like mine again. So what did I learn? If your gut tells you something's wrong, it is. Trust it. I ignored red flags because I thought loyalty meant silence. It doesn't. Loyalty means protecting each other, not covering up betrayal. Don't beg for honesty. If someone makes you feel like you're crazy for asking questions, they're hiding something. Period. Evidence matters. It's not petty to collect proof when your instincts are screaming. I documented everything not to be spiteful, but to protect myself. It worked. Revenge is temporary. Peace is permanent. Did I enjoy exposing her? Hell yes. But the real win wasn't Christmas Eve. It was waking up alone the next morning and not hurting anymore. Silence is power. I never fired back online. Never made a scene. And in doing so, I let her self-destruct in full view of everyone she was trying to impress. Sometimes the best retaliation is letting the truth sit there and rot. Will I date again? Eventually. Not in a rush. I'm still unpacking a lot of emotional garbage she left behind. But I'm not cynical. I don't believe all women cheat. I don't believe love is fake. I just believe some people aren't meant to hold your heart, because all they know how to do is squeeze. So if you're reading this and you're in the middle of it, finding messages, feeling that gut punch, watching someone become a stranger overnight, let me leave you with this. Don't waste your time trying to fix what someone else is breaking. Stand up, walk away, let it burn, because your peace is not negotiable.